moto emonya more than 90% ne hu se ampa aye biafo ono na oni madwuma ye enti maye de mahele ni monyam wo sa kwan no so
say ye man panyi dada John Dramani Mahama be ye ewo maimo enkaka jama itifi emansimwa kukua asehuda na eso eni papa
ensese ye gya no ho ye kofa nipa bia ma ne ba isan se ade a ewo no mu no ebetimi aboa ye German north
se ye pese JM esan back because ye share na Ghana aho kire ene amane a ye wo mu na yetimi so no nipa osan ba obetumi ama ye ho atimi atoye
ono na oma German north wo yetimi ho nkane a ebenya akwan papa afaso ono a
enti enne de ya ye papa John Dramani Mahama ababedu ye nchen pese me kama timamfo nyina hu se ye papa no esan ba biem
en wey communal labor obi ansor na yento aba e ma John Dramani Mahama
executive ni nyina yento aba no emfa mai papa John Dramani Mahama no nya 100%. Ye da omampanyin dada John Dramani Mahama se oje penny said the Ghana for nyina ensu friend say on sambe sum ye bio no waji atum se obaba be sum ye bio
we eyefie entakwa enya abontin entakwa
mesre mabunu omo ye delegates a omo betu aba presidential primacy se munyina mu pie na munhwe na monto aba na kese ma His Excellency the former president John Dramani Mahama
baby a Ghana do say no enye try and error the owo experience the why bida and I dey no ko
me gina ha me ka kire obi biara delegate bia say constituency a branch executive obi biara mo no ho modern say na ba bia no obi abeto na ba ama Your Excellency John Dramani Mahama.
I have been saying that a proper good does not market itself. It is those who know the worth of the good who will bear eloquent testimony. That like salt, if it is in a soup, you don't need anybody to tell you of his presence.
I'll say yes a million times that he should be president of the Republic of Ghana again. He's a man that delivers on his word. He's a man for the people. He's a man that listens and ensures that what is best for our nation is done.
I have heard in the media that people are expressing interest, but that is what democracy is all about. It's about competition for power. But as far as the rank and file of the NDC is concerned, I don't think that there is anybody now who can beat His Excellency John Dramani Mahama.
President Mahama is the only choice that we have. I guess that every Ghanaian knows today that the NDC has one candidate, and that single candidate is former President John Dramani Mahama. And he represents our best foot forward as a party, and he also represents one of the best presidents in the sub-region.
President Mahama exhibited extreme tolerance, what his predecessor hasn't been able to do. The other thing he did was consultation. President Mahama never believed that he alone had the knowledge and could resolve all the problems. I think that that's a mark of a good leader, and that distinguishes him from what we are witnessing now.
We aren't going to try anybody again. We are going for somebody who has done it before and has shown records of competence.
President Mahama left a positive, indelible mark in the sands of time in this country. That's why today Ghanaians are looking at President Mahama with so much nostalgia. And I've always said that, you see, you don't realize the importance of your buttocks until there's a well on it.
I'll be flabbergasted if anybody within NDC even want to contest President Mahama. President Mahama, for me, is outstanding, and I don't think that there is any need for anybody within NDC to contest him. Of course, we are in the democratic institution, but the fact that we practice democracy doesn't mean that we must just allow anything to happen.
As long as the sun rises and sets,
there is hope.
John Dramani Mahama is our hope for a better tomorrow.
John Mahama to deliver a better Ghana, a familiar Ghana.
Why go in search for something new if you already have something that works?
John Mahama is the NDC. And Ghana's only hope today, choose experience
and not experiment. John Mahama,
the politician you already trust and believe in.
John Mahama, competent,
reliable,
and modern.
Want GM to come, including even the MPP themselves. They need a change of government. We need a competent, a down-to-earth. We really need a political surgeon to come and restore the health of the country.
More than 100% yes. He has to come.
We've never had someone who have had a one-term experience going back to reflect. So he comes with a lot of reflection and circumspection. He comes with a lot more vigor, having been back in opposition for 8 years. And we all know that he is a transformational leader, and he certainly has reflected. This would provide us with a leader who would not only hit the ground running, but run in the right direction.
You don't measure the greatness of a leader only by his achievement, but you look at the obstacles that the person has overcome.
I believe that John Mahama has what it takes: the experience, the wisdom, the track record, the integrity to take Ghana back to its position of destiny.
Akufo-Addo does not have the experience, and we can all see he didn't have the experience. He's collapsed the economy, nothing is working well. So since he has been there, he knows how to get us out of this mess. I'm sure Ghanaians would rally their votes behind him to come and save us, because we're in a mess.
We are at a place where the country is almost shattered, and we need someone who has the requisite skills and the needed expertise around him to execute the job. That person can only be John Dramani Mahama and no other person else.
In leadership and the electorate, you must build trust, and this is what President Mahama has been able to build. He's been able to establish trust between himself and the electorate, especially at the grassroots level.
The country has to progress. The only person that has got the magic wand, the only person that has done it before, the only person that has uplifted the people, and the only person that continues to have the passion, the commitment, and want to go to the fuller extent of providing relief to the people and ensuring their sustainable livelihoods. It's His Excellency John Mahama.
I believe that with his return in 2025, Ghana will rediscover her true self, and Ghana will be back on the path of progress.
He didn't let us sleep. He pressurized us. 2 a.m. calls, 12 midnight calls. He said, I said I will fix Tumso, and I'll fix it. And he fixed it. He takes things that are damaged and he recreates or rebuilds them. It is these characteristics that make me know that even though the economy is in shambles, if he comes back, or when he comes back, he will rebuild and he will fix it.
Sukataye Ohiabe John Dramani Mahama natural bovar. Egma John Dramani Mahama enyama de ike duo ube le epe hunteteme. Yifi abe me duo ube no ike matenwa wo.
Mode hawo ene wo lo yepo e wo wole manche ni manche ajete John Mahama.
But NDC for hapa ena ni sise bia ode ba ya na bua yen e che na do de no because e kwakọ yi niema ne niema bia se ya ka bibia opo ni nyasa na da
Ya ne la agbo moto ele nche wo na ekopo wo yi Woli aka ke dollar iwo no fe no etemu. Shika no bi etemu pole nche ba ko ni wo e. Wo yen shika wo na anu wo ba yi.
Bi aneka ba 12 kuma a wo da to 17. Tebeta o chi o da 2. Onya o che no.
Na o de nema nko ye kura o. Obi ba na obi a opa bibi no kura o bo price na no okọ. Complain no o nipa na ba beto no anka to di complain nam se na nchen ye. Wo so a wo ton ade nso ye nto hwe. Ti hwe nkwaso.
Million. Ejala wa wonye wo he. Mene kumo analo papa ko ni machine 300 million. Wonye wo he. Ko a net 1 boundary 2,000 price.
Ndi entum nkran nyama o. Entum nkran nyama with this current value ya dollar we do. Entum nkran nyama. Nti se game anje bi kran na most no control dollar net na bredo obodu 4.5. Na hwe fuele. How much was it? 14 cedis.
Do 7 cedis. Enti na ama ye bre ye ntumi chese ye djuma we de sisi ade egu kra wo be ye djuma ndi kakra obenya no wo de better light chese la emu line ni ama wo better we we no na hwi nkuta enti ni de ye djuma we de aban we be gu no
mpese gie me baba no mafu wo bo na ye den enkofom sisi aminu kasa sisi anu part bi ami tonu 3 months ago 45 sisi aminu kasa no 12,000
no ni anu wota wo neighbor ji oni bi fe basa wono kono yi suku na ka free education wo bi ye na mi pi yen wa me fofoi
suku e be na me yo yele years abo bi ane ayele suku e totu ye 1 totu 2 totu 3 totu
never ma be hwan ha me abrabo se no ane wa nti de odi kan kira o de be ma hwan ha wa se nipa na ye di na chi ene ne bobra
DM ba minyim de the way now you know what the economy obotu wa manage no wa yam obi an nfil obotu wa ye hwe ECG ne time no so obaye oye
no ye galect nam le John Dramani Mahama obenye be lefe akpeve fe blave fe manifesto ike wo wona Ghana tuko a egele Ghana tuko me vidiji oji hepo no pleo hebi agbo so fe no megbe hafifu efe manifesto nufu hedem konebe the people's manifesto
wato woni mukoka John Mahama ba challenge mukoka la ka challenge
John Mahama le promise sani ale on oppose ajage negeno John Mahama na kufu do balaka o aye yen sonu hwe nwo sonu hwe ni efe wo 419 wo ka moko je NDC party yemi le neba ne ge wo solo hwe le wo ba fe wo 419
prime minister na ya na eso mo ka contest le because mo fear mo no baba wo ba yebo hands down no ameka gba me na o yen kapule ka e ka children home e ka gbe ka biye
boy German north
say you pese Jane esan babag because you share na Ghana aho kire ene amane ayewo mu na yetumi so ono ni nipa osan ba obetumi ama ye ho atimi atoye
ono na oma German north wo yetimi ho nkane a ebenya akwan papa afaso ono a
enti enne de ya ye papa John Dramani Mahama ababedu ye nchen me pese me kan matimamfo nyina hu se ye papa no esan ba biem
wey eye communal labor obi ansor na yento aba e ma John Dramani Mahama
executive ni nyina yento aba no emfa mai papa John Dramani Mahama no nya 100%.
omo betu aba presidential primaries se mo nyina mo mpie na mo nhwe na mo nto aba ne kese ma His Excellency the former President John Dramani Mahama.
Baby a Ghana do say no and yet try and error dear our experience dear why you be that and I had no call.
Me jina ha me ka kire obi biara delegates bia say constituency a branch executive obi biara mo no ho modern say na ba bia no obi abeto na aba ama Your Excellency John Dramani Mahama.
Since 2018, but yenya permanent employment. Me say Yewura John Dramani Mahama was say, aha wabai operation 100% votes from Senny West and the man Yewura John Dramani Mahama. Say ono o abadaye edema o man Ghana
mama mre no me tuba rebe 600 me ton ye koto moto ena me tuba rebe 1000 me ntumi enkoto bicycle kura
senior high school sa papa ne besi ye ba bia sabe obi yale obeda kura no sabe na eden ba papa no atumi afoso ama sa ne man nyina
on the 13th May no anuanu mo mesre se ba bibiara wo no ye be sore waka na yakwa kwoto aba no in numbers
yempe 50% 60% yefese moto emonya more than 90% ne hu se ampa aye biafo ono na oni madwuma ye enti maye de mahele ni monyam sa kwan no so
fino say yewu
ya hihwe no ya ditoti hihwe no
na nasa free education e free wasa just say registration fee be register nkura no 10 million ekura ase de onye kurom de
e papa John Dramani Mahama time otimi si e block emaye offering so say oduru anyim amuma school no wo honum akonya ne nuama bebre e be well finish e wo honum amanfo bebre awia
no bia nim say me a business woman afi we business na abo me
ya me mboa no inshallah no ambra
na ya gina wa tu ya afi no say de yesu
oyobia all experience and name mark in Tampo South and the year man 100% of our support.
Because the work has already been done.
Under his tenure, we saw a massive improvement in terms of infrastructure, development, and so many other things.
We can only point to developmental projects within the district, and those things are in his credit. The delegates who are going to vote, the constituency executives, the branch executives, have all decided that they are going to vote massively 100%.
I am for a JM, and then I'm just preaching that each one should vote for JM.
We are assuring him that he is not going to miss one vote from Nkransa North.
heard in the media that people are expressing interest, but that is what democracy is all about. It's about competition for power. But as far as the rank and file of the NDC is concerned, I don't think that there is anybody now who can beat His Excellency John Dramani Mahama.
President Mahama is the only choice that we have. I guess that every Ghanaian knows today that the NDC has one candidate, and that single candidate is former President John Dramani Mahama. And he represents our best foot forward as a party, and he also represents one of the best presidents in the sub-region.
President Mahama exhibited extreme tolerance, what his predecessor hasn't been able to do. The other thing he did was consultation. President Mahama never believed that he alone had the knowledge and could resolve all the problems. I think that that's a mark of a good leader, and that distinguishes him from what we are witnessing now.
We aren't going to try anybody again. We are going for somebody who has done it before and has shown records of competence.
President Mahama left a positive, indelible mark in the sands of time in this country. That's why today Ghanaians are looking at President Mahama with so much nostalgia. And I've always said that, you see, you don't realize the importance of your buttocks until there's a boil on it.
I'll be flabbergasted if anybody within NDC even want to contest President Mahama. President Mahama, for me, is outstanding, and I don't think that there is any need for anybody within NDC to contest him. Of course, we are in the democratic institution, but the fact that we practice democracy doesn't mean that we must just allow anything to happen.
As long as the sun rises and sets,
there is hope.
John Dramani Mahama is our hope for a better tomorrow.
John Mahama to deliver a better Ghana, a familiar Ghana. Why go in search for something new if you already have something that works?
John Mahama is the NDC, and Ghana's only hope today.
Choose experience
and not experiment. John Mahama,
the politician you already trust and believe in.
John Mahama,
competent,
reliable, and modern.
You may now be seated. Thank you very much. Eyezu, 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 Eyaza, Eyezu, Eyaza, Chobai, 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 Chobai. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Joining us now this afternoon is His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, the flag bearer of the NDC going into the 2024 general elections. Can we make some noise for him, please? Hey! Hey! Of course, sitting right next to him is none other than his beautiful wife, Her Excellency Lordina Mahama. As you're very much aware, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama pulled a total of 297,603 votes, making 98.9% of the total votes across all 275 constituencies. Please, he deserves a round of applause. It has never happened in the history of this country, and he's made it happen. This is the man who redeveloped and expanded the Tamale Airport, built the extension of the Tamale Teaching Hospital, saw to the construction of the Fufu Solar Road. He's the man who came to meet and kill Dumso that we are presently experiencing under this government. He constructed the Terminal 3 Airport of the Kotoka. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the man who saw to the construction of the Pokwasi interchange. He's a visionary leader, he's a builder, and he will help build the Ghana that we want. He's the man who's been at the steering wheel of this country before, and there is no doubt that he is on his way to transform this country once again come 7 January 2025. We've seen him do it, and we will see him do it again, inshallah. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama has traveled the length and breadth of this country. He's interacted with party delegates, he's interacted with party executives, party faithfuls, and the general citizenry of this country. And once again, he's demonstrated his readiness to leave the NDC and to leave this country once again, and of course, to build the Ghana that we want. With a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome His Excellency John Mahama. Ayazu, Ayazu, Ayazu. Your Excellency John Dramani Mahama, the flag bearer of the National Democratic Congress, Your Excellency Mrs. Lordina Mahama, First Lady in Waiting, the National Chairman of the National Democratic Congress, Johnson Asedun Ketia, the General Secretary, Fifi Kwete, and all national executives, regional, constituency and branch executives here in present, invited guests, chiefs and people of Tamale, ladies and gentlemen, Topore Kapahariza, Zungo Dapsilongo, Yinto Kwangi Manga, Injina, Ne Top Song, Jilmalana, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Welcome all of you to the multi-purpose auditorium here at the University for Development Studies for the post-flag bearership election address of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. I wish to thank all of you once again on behalf of His Excellency and the NDC for joining us here this afternoon. It's important, ladies and gentlemen, that we thank Allah Almighty for bringing us here this afternoon and for giving His Excellency the victory. And of course, we shall now invite Sheikh to usher us into the hands of Almighty Allah before we kickstart the event. And so, Sheikh Samuel Isa, if you're here with us, Sheikh Samuel Isa, Sheikh Samuel Isa. A round of applause for Sheikh, ladies and gentlemen.
At-takbir, at-takbir, at-takbir. We are most grateful and thankful to Allah the Almighty. Shall we all be in prayer mood so that we show to Allah that we are very grateful and thankful to Him, having brought us this far, and we still have a long way to go. It is He who can lead us right. It is He who can protect us. It is He who can guide us. May Allah make all these things possible for us, starting with the prayer of granting His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, praying that Allah grants him good life, long life, and good health. Again, all forces that are on the ground and yet to come to enable us continue this fight successfully. Those that are there, may Allah put blessings onto them. Those that we do not have, may Allah bring them to us. We also pray that sincerity is what we put ahead of us and follow. For He, Allah, indicates in the Holy Quran that when you are sincere and Allah identifies sincerity in you, that is enough for Allah to make you succeed, even if your inputs are not enough. We pray that we all are sincere. We have seen the indications of that for oneness of purpose that we all have had. We also pray that we have a body that presides over elections in this country, and we have security forces that are to ensure that everything goes smoothly without any head-up. Whatever thing that needs to be done with regards to these particular, to ensure fair and successful election, may Allah make us realize and see it. Whatever thing that will come to make it go a way that nobody is anticipating or expecting, for that matter foul, may Allah save us from that. We are also praying that Allah the Almighty, the needed resources to travel across the length and breadth of the country to ensure that whoever we need to reach out to ensure the fellow comes out to cast his or her ballot fairly, freely, may Allah enable us have those particular resources. Those resources that we do not have, may Allah enable us have them and help us have a very successful effort and fight to ensure that we really come to the end of the journey, and at the end of the tunnel we have success being ours. May Allah also make us come December 7, 2024. May Allah make us get there and have our able leader who has exhibited, he practiced it, he experienced it, he did it, he executed it, and now he is resting. May Allah bring him back to continue with the experience and fix whatever broken economy that we are facing today. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. قل اللهم مالك الملك تؤتي الملك من تشاء وتنزع الملك ممن تشاء وتعز من تشاء وتذل من تشاء بيدك الخير إنك على كل شيء قدير. تولج الليل في النهار وتولج النهار في الليل وتخرج الحي من الميت وتخرج الميت من الحي وترزق من تشاء بغير حساب. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
All right, thank you very much, Sheikh Samuel, for that wonderful prayer. Eyezu, Eyezu, Eyeza, Eyezuza. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm about to introduce a man who served as a member of parliament for the Krowo constituency and the Greater Accra region from 1997 to 2001. He was a Minister of State for the Greater Accra and the Northern regions respectively from 1997 as well to 2001. He was Ghana's most influential public sector leader in 2012. He did some amazing work when he was the Vice Chancellor at UPSA. In the year 2020, he was in the race to become the flag bearer of the National Democratic Congress. He contested against His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Today, he is the convener of the John Mahama campaign. With a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome to the podium Professor Joshua Alabi, who is the convener of the John Mahama campaign, to speak on behalf of the campaign team. Choboy! Choboy! Choboy!
His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, Your Excellency, our incoming First Lady, the General Secretary, the Chairman and the General Secretary of our party, Professor Nana, our former chairman, Honorable Ofosu Apofo, our minority leader in parliament, and the immediate past minority leader, Honorable Idrisu, members of the National Executive Committee of the party, members of parliament, the chiefs and people of Tamale, friends of the media, ladies and gentlemen. Distinguished guests, esteemed members of the party, and devoted supporters. It is an honor and privilege to stand here before you today as the campaign convener, as we gather here to celebrate the acceptance of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, our flag bearer, our incoming president for the upcoming elections. This momentous occasion marks a significant milestone in our democratic journey as we come together to rally behind a leader who embodies the values, principles, and aspirations of our great party. Today, we stand united in our unwavering belief in John Mahama's ability to lead us to a brighter and more prosperous future. These years of dedicated service to our nation has consistently demonstrated his commitment to the welfare of the Ghanaian people. His leadership has been characterized by compassion, integrity, a deep sense of understanding of the challenges faced by our communities. Ladies and gentlemen, His Excellency's job for Ghana is one that encompasses equity, social justice, and economic empowerment for all. He recognizes the urgent need to address the issues that affect our daily lives of our citizens, that affect the daily lives of our citizens, from quality education and accessible healthcare to job creation. Under his leadership, we will work tirelessly to bridge the gap that divides us and build a Ghana where every citizen has equal opportunity to thrive. And that's what we mean by the Ghana we want. We gather here not only to celebrate His Excellency John Mahama's acceptance, but also to acknowledge the collective strength and unwavering commitment of our party members and supporters. It is your dedication, hard work, and tireless effort that has brought us to this moment. Your unwavering belief in the ideals of our party, your resilience in the face of challenges, and your determination to see a better Ghana have been truly inspiring. As we move forward towards the upcoming election, let us remember that our success lies in our unity, We must stand shoulder to shoulder, working collaboratively to promote our shared values and principles. Together, we will engage with the Ghanaian people, listen to their concerns, and offer tangible solutions. Together, we will forge a path of progress and development that will resonate with every citizen in this country. I urge each and every one of you to continue to work hard, bring our Vision 2024 to a resounding victory. Let us have this and enthusiasm generated by John Mahama's acceptance to mobilize our communities, to engage in meaningful conversations, and to inspire change level. The journey ahead will not be easy, but with excellency, John Mahama at the helm of us, guided by our unwavering support, we can overcome any obstacle that come our way. I could express my deepest appreciation to His Excellency John Mahama for accepting the call to lead our party once again. In fact, he has no choice. Where Nana and Bami have taken us to, like I said somewhere, they've taken us to relegation. In the Premier League, you don't do well, you go to relegation. And we need a very strong hand to bring us back to the Premier League. And luckily, we have His Excellency John Mahama, who has the experience and what it takes to do that. He is doing this not for himself. He is doing this not for we assembled here, but he is doing this for our children and our great-grandchildren. I also extend my gratitude to each and every one of you gathered here today, as well as those who have worked tirelessly behind the scene. To the regional, that's the regional committee, constituency coordinating committees, our ward committees, and the branch committees, I say Ayeko for a very good job done. Thanks very much to the project team. And for once, we need to know some of the members of the project team. We have, if you are here, we have senior comrade Kwame Pripra. He's here. We have senior comrade Professor Kwamina Ahoy. He's here. We have senior comrade Kofi Totobi Kwachi. He's here. We have comrade, I'm now coming to the comrades. We have comrade Julius Deborah. He's here. Where is he? We have comrade Madame Vare Soya. She's here. We have comrade Callistus Mahama. I called him the Field General. He's here. We have comrade Omadi Buama. We have comrade Joyce Bauer. We have, in fact, this particular comrade, I would like us to give him a very nice sound of welcome. He's been able to position the party He's been able to make our message across. He's been able to push our message to the whole world. And he's no other person, very strong young man, Comrade Stan Dogbe. Let's clap for him. There was a clear sense of purpose from the team. And we understood each other. And with cooperation, we were able to achieve our target, His Excellency. We gave ourselves above the previous figure of 95%, closing to 99.99%. Excellency, we made 98.9%. It is your dedication that keeps the flame of the party burning bright. Let us embark on this journey with renewed determination, unity, and unwavering belief in the principle that guides us all. Together, we will write a new chapter in Ghana's history, one that is defined by progress, prosperity, and inclusivity for all. Ladies and gentlemen, as this juncture, I would like to do an emotional thing. Our task as a project team is to get the party a flag bearer. Not just a flag bearer, but an experienced flag bearer. One who can lead us to victory. Our other task is also to get the country a president who will move us from relegation to premier. Ladies and gentlemen, before you, after His Excellency's acceptance speech, we, the project team, are handing over to the party a solid man who is capable of achieving all that for us. I know under the leadership of General Mosquito and the General Secretary, the party will take very good care of him, because we did. On this note, thank you, and may the spirit of our party guide us towards a victorious future. Thank you very much. I salute you all.
Ladies and gentlemen, don't you just admire Professor Joshua Alabi? Let's give him a round of applause once again. Now, this is a man who I admire so much because he's demonstrated exemplary leadership. He's demonstrated love, genuine love and concern for the party. And if you ask me, as a political party, these are the kind of people that we look out for. People who, after contesting their opponents and not making it, come on board to support them, to push the collective agenda of the party. That's what we expect in the NDC. And I hope and pray that today, all candidates who did not make it at the just ended primaries will leave behind what happened on that day, come on board, so we all push collectively the Ghana we want agenda come 7th December 2024. I'm eager to see His Excellency John Dramani Mahama sworn in as president on 7th January 2025. And of course, Her Excellency Lordina Mahama, First Lady in waiting, would be there on that day. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to quickly acknowledge the presence of the chairman of the National Democratic Congress, the national chairman, Johnson Asedun Ketia. We also have in our midst here, ladies and gentlemen, the former chairman of the party as well, Mr. Samuel Ofosu-Ampofo is here with us. With us as well. The national vice chairperson, Chief Sofo Azoka, is here with us in the house, ladies and gentlemen. We also have the running mate to His Excellency John Dramani Mahama in the 2020 general election, Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman is here with us as well. Dr. Valerie Sawyer, former senior policy advisor to His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, is here as well with us. Ladies and gents, the member of the NDC Council of Elders, Council of States, Alhaji Hudu Iyaya, is here with us in the house. We also have the Northern Regional Chairman of the NDC, Mr. Adolf Ali, here with us in the house. And of course, I would like to acknowledge all our regional chairmen, regional executives, and as well former executives who have traveled to join us here in Tamale this afternoon. We also have the host member of parliament who gave His Excellency 100% in his constituency. Ladies and gentlemen, the member of parliament for Tamale South constituency, Honorable Haruna Idrisu. I would also like to acknowledge the presence of all members of parliament here in presence. I can see a large number of you. Unfortunately, I cannot mention all your names, but we see you and we acknowledge all of you. Ladies and gents, we also have the minority leader in the house, Honorable Ato Forsen, is here with us. And of course, all elected parliamentary candidates, we do acknowledge your presence. Mr. Julius Debra, the former chief of staff, is also here with us in the house this afternoon. Please give us a wave wherever you are. Thank you very much. Ladies and gents, at this juncture, I shall now invite the man whose love for the NDC can be traced back to his days at the University of Ghana, where he was very active in party politics. He rose to become the party's propaganda secretary, which we now call the National Communications Officer. He is a former member of parliament, a former deputy minister of state who also rose to become a minister of state, and he now occupies the enviable position of general secretary of the National Democratic Congress. He is none other than Mr. Fifi Kwete. A round of applause for the general secretary of the party.
Thank you very much, and I want to stand on all existing protocols to acknowledge every single one of you who here, members of the great family of the NDC. I want, on behalf of every structure of the party, starting from the branch level through the constituency all the way to the national level, to thank every single one of you who have done everything possible to make sure that the recent presidential and parliamentary primaries came to a very successful ending. We are extremely very grateful because it's been a very tough challenge and a battle, and I'm sure we have signaled to the country that this dress rehearsal is just the beginning of even the greater battle ahead of us come December 7, 2024, and we are showing we are ready for that bigger battle. I want to use the occasion to say that the choice of this great city clearly cannot be a choice by accident at all. Tamale, the heart of the original northern region, as far as I'm concerned, is known as a place for courage, a place for brave men, and a place for truth. So it clearly cannot be an accident that we are choosing this great city to be the place where we are going to welcome the leader of our party into the battle 2024. I said courage, bravery, truth are going to be very important principles if we are going to win this battle that is ahead of us. I want to also say that the choice of the dates itself is significant. 44 years ago today, a seed was sown, which was the beginning of the seed that brought about the transformation, let's call it the reconstruction of Ghana. When this nation hit the lowest level, after the great job done by Kwame Nkrumah, we started the decline, and that decline continued into the mid-70s. Exactly 44 years ago today, on the 15th of May, something began that saw the beginning of the transformation again. And it's not an accident. It's not an accident at all that again today, at a time where the very soul of this nation has been totally destroyed, the psyche, the fabric of Ghana has been totally brought down, we are at the lowest level on our knees, economically, politically, culturally, and at all levels. We have chosen again 15th of May to start a flame that I believe is going to bring again the rebuilding of this country, and this time to rebuild it for good. What I want to say is that we expect that the courage that was brought about on that day of May 15 will be the courage that we will take into the battle 2024. The selflessness that was brought about on that day of May 15 will be the selflessness that will guide our battle into 2024. Every single one of us, whether you are going to be a polling agent, whether you are going to be a branch executive, or executive at the constituency level, at the regional level, at the national level, or every aspect of our party, we expect the courage, selflessness, love for party, love for nation, not just to rescue this country, but to be able to really restart the reconstruction of our country. And that reconstruction must start with a reconstruction of our very beliefs, our attitudes, the things we stand for. President Mahama is known as a man who built the country. Of course, the building of this country started with the founder of our party, continued especially through Jerry Rawlings, continued with Prof. Mills, and President Mahama during his time proved to stand on the shoulders of these great leaders to actually demonstrate the capacity for building the country. I believe a lot of that building will continue from January 7, 2024, when by God's grace, by Allah's grace, we get back power. But what I want to urge is that the building that we are looking for, the infrastructure that we were looking for from 2025 must begin with the infrastructure that every single one of us who are in this party must start having inside of us. We must start becoming infrastructure of truth, infrastructure of selflessness, infrastructure of people who love this party, who put ourselves second and put the party first, infrastructure of people who want to do what is right to the betterment of our nation. And if we all can become this great infrastructure, then the job of reconstructing Ghana come January 7, 2025 will become an easier job. So my prayer is that that fire that was lit in this country on May 15, 1979, that fire will guide us again. That fire will be the beginning of the transformation of this country again. Just as this country was at lowest ebb, and that fire 44 years ago led to that reconstruction, I pray that the fire will again guide us. Will guide President Mahama, will give him the selflessness, the love for party, the love for nation, the courage of conviction, the truthfulness, the love, the dedication for this nation, so that we'll be able to do what the millions of our people expect of us. Great family of the NDC, we thank you. We thank you for every single thing that you have done to help us through the difficulties that we went through. And a lot of difficulties were faced. But through our perseverance, our dedication, and especially our commitment to making sure we do not disappoint the millions of our Ghanaians, we were able to win every step of those battles. But that is simply the beginning. The real job begins from today, as we now have a new leader who is going to be leading us into that battle. That journey begins again. I want to say thank you very much, every single one of you. And remember, cadence may go, cadence may come, but the revolution has come to stay. Revolution has a long way to go, but has come to stay. May that fire of May 15th light all of us up and make us to love this country, love this party, and do everything we can for the reconstruction of our country. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause once again for the General Secretary of the NDC, Mr. Fifi Kwete. Before I proceed, I'd like to acknowledge the presence of some of our chiefs who have joined us this afternoon. Jimana Chang to one to Bole and Shabankana top song to Zungo, Dabsongo Yua, Katanyaba, Kabangba, Baninye, in Yabe Kasulana Yakubu, Zungo Obepe, Chelakat Pahanutu. He also doubles as the chairman of the Council of Elders. Here, a round of applause for Yeb Kasulilana Yakubu. We also have in our midst this afternoon Viting Pana Lana. He's a representative of the chief of it. A round of applause for him as well, ladies and gents. We also have Bimbali Wura, HB Brema. He's also here in our midst this afternoon, ladies and gents. Round of applause for Chief. He's also the former member of parliament for the Salaga constituency. We have Inyeb Tolong Lana, Major Retired Suleiman. A round of applause for him as well. You can tell by the applause that he's a man loved by many. We also have Alhaji Mahama Al Hassan, who is the Kotokoli chief. Round of applause for Alhaji Mahama Al Hassan as well. Inyeb Palalana is also in our midst. Inyeb Nyangpalana is in our midst. Inyeb Nyangpalana, the chief of Nyangpala, is here with us. Inyabu Warbu Alana is also here with us, ladies and gents. A round of applause for him. We also have Inyab Kuna in our midst this afternoon. A round of applause. And then we have the chief of the Yoruba community, Alhaj Imran, also here with us this afternoon. Ladies and gents, the chief of Choguna is also here. Chwana is here with us this afternoon. A round of applause for him. And of course, the chief of Tamale, Inyab Dakema, is here with us this afternoon. A round of applause for him as well. At the beginning of... Pardon? Okay, we also have Chief Al Hassan in our midst this afternoon. Chief Al Hassan is in our midst this afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for him as well. At the beginning of the event, I should have introduced myself. My name is Eura Adams Karim, and so I'm taking the opportunity to do that now. Ladies and gents, the man I'm about to introduce, as a matter of fact, needs no introduction. He's worked at all levels in the political landscape of this country. He's been an assembly member. He's been a member of parliament. He's been a minister of state. And he's been the longest ever serving general secretary of the NDC. A round of applause, ladies and gents. I'm not done, but you already know who he is, I guess. At the time when people were needed to reorganize the party and to save this country, this man was present. In fact, his name is synonymous to the NDC. He's the only general in Ghana politics, and his name resounds in every nook and cranny of this country. He's the mosquito whose bite causes pandemonium in the camp of his opponents. With a round of applause, ladies and gents, help me welcome the national chairman of the National Democratic Congress, Honorable Johnson Asiedu Nketia, with a huge round of applause, please.
Thank you very much. Your Excellency, with your permission, I would like to stand on the protocols earlier established by the previous speakers so we can save time. Today, I don't intend to deliver a long speech because this is an event to listen to the newly elected flag bearer. Indeed, it should have happened on the election night in Accra, but because he had to come to the north to cast the vote, it could not happen. So we have come to continue the program to its conclusion. I don't also intend to take the press attention from the wonderful speech we are about to expect from the new flag bearer. I just want to add something very little to the presentation by my General Secretary. He did a good job in reconnecting today with the past 44 years ago. There's a little bit of it that was omitted. And that is to say that 44 years ago started the political journey of a man who was destined to be 3 times the President of the Republic of Ghana. And that was President Jerry John Rawlings. I have heard it being said throughout this campaign that somehow there is no history of any president who has sworn with our state source 3 times. Maybe they haven't learned the history properly. Because President Rawlings swore to the nation 3 times. First, as the chairman of AFRC. Second, as the chairman of PNDC. And the third, as the elected president of the Republic of Ghana. We never chose this day consciously, May 15. It just happened that today we are repeating history in another form. President Mahama is going to be the second president to swear to this nation for the 3rd time before he leaves. He has already sworn twice. He swore as a president after the unfortunate demise of President Atta Mills. The second time when he was elected as President of the Republic. And January 7th, 2025 is going to conclude the history making of this country, because he is going to swear with the state sword for the third term as the President of the Republic of Ghana. This tells you that the man comes with divine guidance. Rawlings was chosen at a time when the nation was at a point we considered to be at the lowest ebb. We hadn't seen the work of Akufo-Addo yet. So at that time, we thought that that was the worst this country could come to. But today, those who can compare will realize that we were joking in those days. And that the real bad times of Ghana, the worst time of Ghana, is today. So if divine providence had chosen President Rawlings to rescue the country in those days, today President John Dramani Mahama is being chosen to do the work that has been left uncompleted by President Rawlings. Ladies and gentlemen, with these few remarks, I'd like to leave the day for our new king. Thank you very much, and may God bless our homeland Ghana.
But you know more basi. The bisang man so dia cheng. Come on, the victory.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Youth Home Cultural Troupe. Thank you very much, Youth Home Cultural Troupe. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much, Youth Home Cultural Troupe. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. A round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for the Youth Home Cultural Troupe for that amazing performance. And of course, such graceful dance steps by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and Professor Jenano Pokwajman. Indeed, on the 7th of January 2025, we'll be taking those graceful steps into the Jubilee House with His Excellency John Dramani Mahama as President of the Republic of Ghana. Inshallah. Ladies and gentlemen, at this juncture, I would like to invite a man that I admire so much, and of course a man that so many youth across the length and breadth of this country admire so much for his charisma and how youthful and passionate he is when it comes to issues of this country. After being a student leader for several years in the university, he transitioned into mainstream politics, where he rose to become the national youth organizer. I'll come back to this man, but before that, I'd like to acknowledge the presence of some chiefs that we have in our midst. Of course, we have Tanda Ura Al-Hajj Muhammad Amin, he's in our midst. Let's give him a round of applause, ladies and gents. We also have, ladies and gentlemen, Sanaru Paulana. He's a representative of the Sanargu Chief. He's in our midst, ladies and gents. We also have Dungu Wulana Al-Hassan, who is representing the Dunguna. We have Nyala Shena, who is a representative of the Nantona. And we have the Northern Regional Chief Imam as well in our midst, Al-Hajj Abdul Salam, and Lamashana Al-Hajj Ziblim, Lamashana Al-Hajj Ziblim is also in our midst. So let's give them a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Well, as I was saying earlier, I said, after being a student leader for several years in his tertiary educational period, he transitioned into mainstream politics, where he rose to become the national youth organizer of the NDC. He became a member of parliament after winning the 2004 parliamentary election. He is a former minister of communication, a former minister for trade and industry, a former minister for employment and labor relations. And I repeat again that his constituency gave His Excellency John Dramani Mahama 100%. He is none other, ladies and gents, than the former minority leader of the NDC and member of parliament for Tamale South constituency, Honorable Haruna Idrisu.
Excellency John Dramani Mahama and Mrs. Lodina Mahama, I now can understand why this morning the First Lady to be requested that she wanted the husband to be ushered in with a traditional dance. Little did I know that Excellency had learned his steps as he responded to the beautiful melody of Telusima. National chairman of our party, general secretary, minority leader, campaign coordinator, Nanuma, I'm standing on behalf of the people of Northern Region. Our proud Northern Regional Chairman, Adolf, supported by the local constituency chairman Vito, Alhaji Abdul Rauf Zanya, And on behalf of all the constituencies here, including regional chairmen that have traveled far and near, to welcome you all warmly to Tamale. Tamale South Constituency and the UDC is the proud host of this historic, auspicious, momentous occasion to cement the will of the NDC party faithfuls. Nanembecho Excellency Mama Kana Ompoe Kapai. Now only you samle. Unkam kana na only nang abarkanang. My task is a very simple one. To introduce to you the person that the NDC overwhelmingly and massively endorse. To say that it's overwhelming may be an understatement. I can only say a near unanimous 100% declaration for Excellency John Dramani Mahama. That is a manifestation that the leadership and the rank and file of our party across the nation have made a unique pronouncement of their support and solidarity to his bid to the presidency. He comes to the presidency with some unique characteristics. At least for John Dramani Mahama, he is not the sketch. He is a full portrait, not the sketch. He is a full portrait of a leader. And for him, public service is a calling. And he's only come back to lead the NDC to rescue our country, as was described by the national chairman, for the country being run to its lowest ebb. Nana Dudankwa and Dr. Baumia have run this economy to the nadir of economic failure, manifesting in excruciating hardship, manifesting in the destruction of the private sector and businesses. The man to rescue it is a man I'm here to introduce, Excellency John Dramani Mahama. He also comes to this office with 5 important characteristics. Professor Joshua Alabi summarized a few of them. I will add just a few. He comes to this office with character, temperament, integrity, and compassion. At least he is not the president who will tell you that I'm not going to IMF and finally return to the IMF. He is not the president who will tell you that there will be no haircut, no thanks to the minority leader. He is not that president. At least he comes to that office with integrity and with character. Following the deception of the new patriotic party government on Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the people of the NDC have spoken, and have spoken loud and eloquently, that they need a rescuer. That rescuer is a person I'm here to introduce, John Dramani Mahama. One significant thing about him is that he is not going into this office. He goes back to the office of the president with the extract of the wisdom after self-introspection, having been president and having walked back at their failure, to come and exercise better judgment in the governance of our country. May you now join me with a round of applause and with ovation to welcome Excellency John Dramani Mahama to give his post-flag bearer speech. On behalf of Nanuma, the people of Tamale, and on my own behalf, we are excited, and we should thank the National Executive and the Flag Bearers Office for making UDS and Tamale South the venue for this occasion. Excellency John Dramani Mahama, you may now graciously address the NDC gathering. God bless us all, and may God see him through to be President of our Republic on January 5, 2025.
Why must someone come and spoil all that has been built for over 60 years, and we still need to build it again?
It's all because of the future of our children and their children. Building the Ghana we all want together.
Thank you very much. I wish to begin by thanking the Almighty God for the blessings and favor He has continued to shower on me throughout my entire political career. And I'm guided by the quotation from Romans 8:31. And it says, "What then shall we do? What then shall we say about these things?" And it concludes, "If God be for us, who can be against us?" I want to start by acknowledging the chairman and members of Council of Elders of our great party, to recognize our national chairman, Ketia, our general secretary, Fifiavi Kwete, and the entire National Executive Committee of our party. I also acknowledge with gratitude my former chairman, Honorable Samuel Ofosu-Ampofo, my running mate in the 2020 elections, Honorable Nana Jane Opoku-Agyemang, our regional chairmen and regional executives, and all our constituency executives, and especially our kingmakers, the branch executives, supporters and sympathizers of the NDC. And also to recognize our revered traditional leaders. Even though some names were mentioned, out of respect, I will just mention a few of them again. And we have Nayab Kogana, Nayab Tolona, my uncle, Nayab Kosulana, who's chairman of our Council of Elders and has done a yeoman's job in uniting the party here in Northern Region. Nayab Nyankpalana, who was recently installed, I wish to congratulate him. Nayab Warbogulana, and my good friend and elder brother from long ago, Nayab Lamashena, Nayab Chogo Na, and the Dakwema of Tamale. I wish to acknowledge all of them. I also wish to acknowledge our minority leader, Honorable Ato Forsen, and to also acknowledge our host and my younger brother, Honorable Haruna Idrisu, and all our members of parliament who have taken time to be with us today, and my fellow countrymen and women, the general viewing and listening public. I want to say thank you very much. I must add very quickly how happy I am to be speaking here at the University for Development Studies, the UDS in Tamale, having earlier launched my campaign at the University for Health and Allied Sciences in Ho, in the Volta region, two universities established by our great political tradition, the NDC. Yesterday, Sunday, 14th May, was Mother's Day. Let me use this opportunity to extend my Mother's Day appreciation to my wife, Lodina Mahama, and all Ghanaian women, fellow Akatamansonians, with profound gratitude. I humbly accept to be the presidential candidate of the National Democratic Congress. I dedicate this victory to the founder of our party, Jerry John Rawlings, to my late boss and mentor, Professor John Evans Atta-Mills, to my former Vice President, Kwesi Bekwin Emisata, and the many hundreds of our senior comrades who labored to build this political tradition that we have the privilege of leading today. And thank you for your vote of confidence and for your unshaken conviction that I am the most suitable person with the experience and vision to lead our party, the NDC, to victory in 2024. We must win the election to enable us build the Ghana we want together. I pledge to lead you to a resounding victory come December 2024. Let me, on your behalf and on my own behalf, acknowledge the contribution of Dr. Kwabena Dufo, former mayor of Kumasi, Kojo Bonsu, and Mr. Ernest Kobia, for what they have done towards enhancing the internal democratic systems of our party. I also wish to thank the staff of the Electoral Commission for their support in making our parliamentary and presidential primaries a resounding success. My special thanks go to Mr. Srebo Kweku and his district election directors for working over and above the call of duty to ensure a successful election. To you, the kingmakers of the NDC, I say thank you for electing me with as resounding 297,603 votes, which constitutes 98.9% of the total valid votes cast. This margin of victory is deafening and emphatic and resounding, and it is indicative of the unwavering singular intent of the NDC to win the 2024 election. As I crisscross the length and breadth of this country, clocking about 13,000 kilometers, I was reminded at every stage of the journey of the enormity of the job that is ahead of us. I accept this onerous responsibility placed on my shoulders with absolute humility and a deep sense of respect for the tough tasks that lie ahead in resetting our beloved nation Ghana to one that allows us to regain our lost glory. Ours is a nation that led the decolonization process in Africa, a nation held up as the model of democracy and governance in Africa, a nation of prudence in the management of its economy and resources. This victory is not about me, John Dramani Mahama. It is about our people and the creation of a society that allows our citizens to live a decent and dignified life. It is about expanding access to health care so that our mothers and sisters will not lose their lives carrying out their biological duty of procreation. It is about the little children whose promising future is cut short because of a dangerous boat crossing in search of an education. It is also about managing our economy and finances in a manner that does not require us to appropriate the lifetime investments of our retired senior citizens and the middle class. This victory is about raising security and investments and funds for future generations, and not just for spending in a day. It is about restoring trust once again in our institutions and engendering love and pride in the name Ghana. But first, we must win the elections in 2024. And that will require from all of us hard work and winning the trust of the people of Ghana. The NDC and Ghana's interests must therefore continue to guide and bind us all together as one people from one great family. From today, right here in the hall of the University of Development Studies, I declare that the internal competition for the flag bearership position is over. You have chosen experience with vision over experiment, and I'm confident that in December 2024, Ghanaians will make that choice that puts us back on the path of building the Ghana we want together. We must flip the coin from competition to cooperation. We need cooperation to build a better Ghana and a better NDC. I'm therefore calling for cooperation among all elected parliamentary candidates and your aspirants and supporters. Incumbent members of parliament who lost their primaries must also keep their heads up. You remain heroes for the good job you have done and continue to do. We need your experience and talents for the onerous job that faces us when the good people of Ghana give us a mandate to steer the affairs of this country once more. Above all, we need you in the remaining 1.5 years of your parliamentary mandate to carry out your duties in Parliament with dedication and commitment to safeguard the interests of the Ghanaian people. And I wish to assure you that I intend to meet with these MPs at the earliest possible opportunity. I wish to assure you that you are still assets of the party, and we shall make use of the talents and experience that you have garnered. The party needs you and will continue to rely on you as we seek to win election 2024 and change the destiny of the suffering people of Ghana. We must remain one solid family. Let me emphasize and urge all of us as members of the NDC to rededicate ourselves, commit our energies and resources to work hard to win 2024. I assure you of my open-mindedness, my open-door policy, and my commitment to run a government that will be based on merit and competence. Let me reaffirm my unshaken commitment to offer the needed support to our parliamentary candidates and all constituencies to make certain that we secure a healthy majority in the next parliament. What this means for our party is that we must conclude the outstanding parliamentary elections as soon as possible so that we can focus our resources on the campaign for the upcoming national elections. I assure you that together with the National Chairman, the General Secretary and other executives, we will plan and campaign very vigorously with clear objectives and strategic outcomes. We owe it as a duty to our country to do so, and we shall. On this note, as I dissolve my innovative, hard-working and successful campaign coordinating team led by Professor Joshua Alabi, I wish to thank the team, my staff, my security, the media, the NDC regional chairman, regional and constituency campaign teams, and of course my wife Lordina, my children, and my siblings, some of whom are here. Stand up, let them see you. Thank you. Thank you. And my siblings, and all others who are on this journey with me. I can never repay you for your generosity, dedication, and love for me and for our country, Ghana. Let's hold on to hope. Ladies and gentlemen, we must urgently commence building the Ghana we want together, because our dear nation Ghana is sailing through perilous seas. Our socio-economic foundation as a nation has in the last few years not only been threatened, but has been fractured and dislocated. Corruption and the raid on the public purse have come to a crescendo. The rights of citizens, including journalists, no longer matter to this government. In the last 2 years, Ghana has dropped on the Press Freedom Index. Our national health insurance scheme is comatose. The scheme is starved of funds by the government capping policy and the refusal to release proceeds of the National Health Insurance Levy to the National Health Insurance Authority. Patients are faced with an empty scheme that only ensures retrieval of their medical folders and consultation. Even basic drugs such as analgesics, cough mixtures, and antibiotics must be purchased by patients themselves from the drugstores. For the first time in our history, retirees and the middle class are facing the existential threat to their survival and financial stability due to gross mismanagement of our economy by a grossly inept finance minister and economic management team. For the first time in known memory, newborn babies are unable to access the full complement of their childhood vaccines. Yet these newborns and the younger generation also face the heavy burden of inheriting a suffocating national debt which stands at almost 600 billion Ghana cedis, the equivalent of over 100% of our GDP. Only a fortnight ago, the government recalled members of parliament, and the main purpose for this recall was to approve a further $710 million, more debt to compound the already choking national debt. Ladies and gentlemen, the lack of vision and prospects by government is patently discomforting. And that is why we have no option but to win election 2024. This is to reset our country on a path of transformation for progress and prosperity. I come to you, the good people of Ghana, and I say there's hope for our country. That hope will emanate from our very selves as a resilient nation, a people with a passionate appetite for progress and prosperity, a people capable of rising from the ashes of catastrophe like a phoenix to build a stronger and smarter nation to serve our needs and wants. This hope also springs from a leadership that is willing to accept responsibility and fix the problems rather than pass the buck. A leadership that is honest and does not lie to its people. A leadership that is consultative and willing to build a consensus in solving the challenges that confront Ghanaians in their daily lives. I have an unshakable conviction. I believe and I know Ghana shall rise again. My vision for our beloved Ghana aligns with your expectations for a better Ghana, one that we're going to build together. Beyond my vision, ladies and gentlemen, our Constitution also gives us hope. It creates the foundation for a fourth Republican democracy, a democratic dispensation that is still the best form of government and which we must guard and protect. Because, however abysmal and appalling the performance of a government is, the people have an opportunity to make a change at the next election. Clearly, the Akufo-Addo and Bawumia NPP administration has failed to meet the expectations of the Ghanaian people, and they must prepare to bow out at the next election. And they must start preparing their handing over notes and get ready to account to the people of Ghana for their stewardship. Yes, there is hope for our country. I firmly believe in our collective ability as a party to lead a transformation agenda that restores decent values, revives youthful aspirations and ambitions. Ours will be a progressive government that provides equal opportunities for decent and sustainable livelihoods. I'm convinced that by working together with Ghanaians, we shall turn Ghana's hopelessness and gloom today into a better and brighter tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, let me dwell a bit on the destructive elephant in the room, which is the economy. Literally and figuratively, the government's economic management team has displayed grave incompetence, mismanaged Ghana's economy, and inflicted severe hardships on Ghanaians, including the elderly and the young. Ghanaians now know the address of the so-called solid economic management team, in quotes. The chairman and members of this economic management team have become the butt of jokes in people's homes, in the marketplaces, in restaurants, on social media, and on the airwaves because of their misguided commentaries both in opposition and government. As a leader, your word should always be truthful. It should be sincere and honest. It should count for something. If you are not truthful, you lose the trust of the people. Prices of goods and services continue to see extreme increases, with devastating effects on the livelihood of Ghanaians. The price trends reflect the inflationary increase from 15.4% in December 2016 to over 40% presently. Unfortunately, as inflation rises, employment has not improved but has worsened. The growth rate of the agricultural sector, which was 2.7% in 2016, despite all the sloganeering, was a paltry 0.7% in 2022. The manufacturing sector, which stood at 7.9% in 2016, dipped to 4.5% in 2022. And the construction sector has gone down from 8.4% in 2016 to 4.2% in 2022. What has happened to the unprecedented resources that have accrued to the Akufo-Addo Bawumia government since 2017? No government in our fourth republic has had the sheer amount of resources that have been made available to this particular government. And yet they have been unrelenting in hiding the truth. The fact, however, remains that by March 2020, a pre-COVID era in Ghana, the national debt had already increased by 100 billion within 3 short years. And this shows a steep rise from the 120 billion in 2016 to 225 billion in 2019. Indeed, the budget deficit of 7.5% recorded in 2018 had at that time exceeded the legally accepted threshold of 5%. Ladies and gentlemen, the combined effect of the critical economic indices before COVID-19 and after COVID-19 in this country. And we cannot allow them to continue holding Ghana's progress in reverse gear. Ghana is not for a few people alone. Ghana is for all of us and generations yet unborn. As I said, we must rise like the phoenix, rising from the ashes, renew, reform, and liberate ourselves from this misrule on December 7th, 2024. And this is why I'm running for president in 2024. And this is why you voted massively for me on Saturday, May 13th, 2024. I've proposed a raft of measures and referred the government to our NDC 2020 manifesto for policy alternatives. These measures still apply today because we are neck deep in an economic crisis. The first thing, government must take responsibility for this messy economy arising from its reckless borrowing and mismanagement of the country. This is going to be one of the immediate actions of my government, God willing, when voted into office. I'll lead a process to set a standardized limit for public borrowing. Government has refused to cut expenditure by reducing the size of government and adjusting the compensation and allowances of appointees and profligate expenditure. The president is rather appointing more people and continuing to recklessly overspend. Only recently, he appointed a CEO for mortuaries and funerals. John Mahama and NDC government will respond to the concerns of the Ghanaian people proactively and drastically cut down on the number of ministers and other government appointees. There will be no room for wasting the taxpayers' money on the comfort of government officials. The NDC will reconsider the tax exemption regime, ensuring that any exemptions that are given are beneficial to the Ghanaian people. We'll further ensure that the extractive sector operates within a mutually beneficial tax environment for the stability of our exchange rate. We'll seek to make Ghana benefit more from its finite natural resources, and will encourage indigenously owned Ghanaian businesses that have the technology and capacity to operate their own productive mining concessions by themselves to do so. We have done it before, and we will do it again. Together with my team, we will enhance investor confidence in our country to attract credible domestic and foreign investors, especially in the manufacturing and light industry sector. This we will do by being transparent and not concealing economic data, such as the budget deficit, public debt, and our net international reserve. Even as we await the board of the International Monetary Fund's approval for Ghana's requested bailout by the end of May or June this year, we expect that the finance minister will urgently present a mid-year review budget to Parliament, which would include any agreements they might have reached with the fund, and also one that critically cuts down government expenditure. The 2023 budget and financial statement presented to Parliament last November currently is riding on stilts with no stability. And this is why I insist government must immediately, upon approval of Ghana's program by the fund, review the 2023 budget to reflect the realities of our economic situation today. My fellow Akatamonsonians, fellow countrymen and women, unemployment is a national security crisis today. Unemployment is at its highest level in the history of Ghana. And what must be done to help in ameliorating the challenge has not been done. From January 2025, the next NDC administration will work to transform our economy, diversify our exports, ensure value addition to our production to create more jobs. Agriculture and agribusiness shall be one of the key anchors of our economic transformation plan. We will launch a program akin to the Operation Feed Yourself and Feed Your Industries program of the early 1970s. This is geared to make Ghana self-sufficient in basic staples and curb unnecessary imports. We will seek to make indigenous entrepreneurs capture, in quotes, the commanding heights of the Ghanaian economy. In our previous stint in government, we sought to achieve this by strategically prioritizing the Tamni irrigation project, rehabilitating the Via and Tono irrigation projects, all in the Upper East region. We supported the Avnash rice processing factory here in Yankpala in the northern region. We provided fish storage facilities along the entire coastline of Ghana, and we prepared the Commander Sugar Factory for takeoff in the central region, amongst others. In the non-agricultural sector, the Wakang ceramic factory, which came alive in the western region, and the Savannah cement factory are but a few of the examples of employment opportunities we created when we were in office. And remember, we also injected 51 million Ghana cedis into the pharmaceutical sector for expansion and job creation. And our foresight became a windfall when COVID-19 struck our shores. Let me restate what I said in Ho during the launch of my campaign for flag bearer. I said we shall promote robust local participation in our banking and financial, telecommunications, tourism, mining, agribusiness, and manufacturing sectors to grow our economy and create sustainable employment for our youth. We will restore indigenous Ghanaian investment in the financing and banking sector. And we will create a tiered banking system that will serve various segments of the market. We will give the opportunity for experienced banking hands who were laid off and needlessly to secure their careers once more and move away from the menial jobs that they were compelled to take. As far as practicable, the banking licenses that were unjustly cancelled by this government will be restored. Ladies and gentlemen, our nation is still at the crossroads with crippling debts and an inefficient and wasteful government. We cannot continue this pathway. It is a betrayal of our people as a leader to keep doing things the same way when the results leave them poorer. I am committed to operating an effective government with no more than 60 ministers. These ministers, together with other appointees of the government, will not be entitled to ex gratia payments after their tenure. As I will make them commit to that undertaking even before the necessary constitutional amendments, including a review of the controversial Article 71, is carried out. I share the view that Ghanaians in the diaspora must no longer have to renounce their foreign citizenship before they can stand for elections or hold public office in Ghana. I personally believe that most of them make up for their absence with the remittances that they send. And definitely, if conditions improve, a lot of them will return home to work here in Ghana. In fact, some Ghanaians in the diaspora have proven to be extremely beneficial to our country. Take, for instance, Professor Frimpong Boateng of the Cardiothoracic Center, fame, who returned from Germany to establish the Cardio Center and has saved lives. Since the professor's return, he has contributed his significant bit in medicine and in politics. And only recently, an Al Jazeera documentary accusing President Akufo-Addo and his government of organized crime in collusion with a foreigner, it also emerged that the heart surgeon had 2 years ago boldly exposed the duplicity of the MPP government in the fight against Galamsey. His report has opened a can of worms, which I know this president, in his usual manner, will sweep under the carpet, just as many corruption scandals have been cleared by who is called the clearing agent. We shall pursue this matter further and make sure that justice is done. The truth is that this government cannot just wish away the reality that Ghana is not looking good on the Corruption Perception Index of Transparency International. The president no longer makes corruption a pet topic in any of his speeches because corruption has defeated him hands down. The government's baited to suppressing press freedoms and an inordinate clampdown of civil activists, including even members of parliament who dare to expose corruption. And let me assure you, as I stated in Garu in the Upper East during my campaign tour, that I will adopt a robust root and branch approach to fighting corruption. Because corruption is a major source through which state resources are lost. It will not matter whether the people in the corruption are our own people or from some other party. We will continue the constitution review process commenced by President John Evans Atam's of blessed memory, and we will carry it to its logical conclusion. This will help to plug the loopholes and clarify some clauses in our constitution and make it responsive to our current reality. My fellow Tamansonians, Ayezu, Ayeza, Ehejo, MFA, hey, 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 thank you. I began by thanking you, my party delegates, for voting massively for me on Saturday. And I promise that I'll fulfill every promise I made to you during my visits to your constituencies. All the promises I made in the 16 regions of Ghana between March and 12 May 2023, I intend to fulfill. I'll be working with the National Chairman, the General Secretary, and the leadership of our party to build a formidable National Democratic Congress, one that every Ghanaian will be proud to associate with. And Ghanaians should keep in mind that the NDC has provided the most impactful socio-economic and development projects across the length and breadth of this country. I make a firm promise to ensure that our 2024 campaign is fully decentralized by empowering our branches to lead the voter mobilization and voting day canvassing. And they will be supported by the constituency and regional executives, and of course by national and the flag bearer. Empowering the branches and motivating them and ensuring that we deploy the needed material and logistics, I remain convinced will help our campaigning and canvassing in 2024. We must all embrace and support an equitable distribution of party logistics to the branches, because this will strengthen the branches and encourage competition, even as we plan to reward each branch adequately for meeting the targets that we're going to set them in 2024. In the next few months, we'll begin redeeming our promise to help constituencies that currently do not own their own offices to acquire offices. And we'll commence the organization of periodic orientation and training programs by our party school for all our executives. Ladies and gentlemen, and the millions following us from Ghana and across the world, as I conclude before I take my seat, I want to reiterate some of the other commitments I made to the people of Ghana on the campaign tour. I want you to remember them so that you can hold me accountable when I come into office. I'll keep these promises when I assume office on January 7th, 2025, God willing. We will restore stability and inclusive growth in the economy, and we shall rejuvenate the almost collapsed banks and the financial sector. And this will involve sweeping reforms at the Bank of Ghana, because the central bank itself has been a part of creating this problem. I'll create the foundation that will ensure that Ghana will never suffer such a deadly debt management program that threatens to send our elderly people holding government bonds to an early grave and wipe out the investments of the Ghanaian middle class. I'll prioritize local participation in the banking, financial, telecoms, mining, oil and gas, agriculture, manufacturing and construction sectors to generate more jobs for our youth. The Ghanaian young men and women we interact with on a daily basis and their colleagues in other African countries are simply tired of the jobless GDP figures. We will actively attract viable and serious private sector investors to partner government to invest in the productive sectors of this country for more jobs to be created. I will advocate strongly the return of investors who have left because of the poor management of this economy by NPP. This will involve an emphasis on agriculture and agribusiness, and will have a strong focus on making Ghanaians own their own micro enterprises. I'll complete abandoned and ongoing projects instead of rushing to start new ones. We will carry out an inventory of all hospitals, schools, electrification, water and road projects which have stalled or been abandoned, and we will make an annual budgetary allocation for their completion. Beyond the economic front, we will also be very strong on governance, because transparent and accountable governance at all levels remains an assured fuel that fires the socio-economic transformation of successful nations. In that regard, we will establish a governance advisory council to help improve political governance, curb corruption, and ensure the respect of human rights. This council will include representatives of civil society organizations, religious leaders, traditional leaders, and ordinary Ghanaians. And amongst others, they will be empowered to release a State of Governance in Ghana report every year. This report will guide governments in fine-tuning our good governance record. And as I said already, I'll run the leaders but most efficient government under the Fourth Republic by appointing not more than 60 ministers and deputy ministers. And I said already, I'll work to abolish the payment of ex gratia and cut out waste and ostentation in government. We shall work with Parliament and all stakeholders to complete the Constitution review process and strengthen the separation of powers. Government procurement is recognized as a major source of corruption and misappropriation of public funds. We will therefore, among other measures, set up an independent value for money office to scrutinize all government procurements that are above a $5 million threshold, or as shall be recommended by Parliament. I will give anti-corruption state institutions unfettered space to operate. The days of the clearing agents must come to an end on January 7, 2025. I'll also set up a commission of inquiry to investigate the matter of looted and stolen state lands. And the same commission will make recommendations for resolving the vexed issue of expropriated Gardangbe lands. And to deepen our democracy, the fourth estate of the realm, the media must also be given a conducive and collaborative atmosphere to operate as the fourth power that they ought to be without threats, harassment, and assassinations. In this regard, we shall speed up the investigation of the assassination of Ahmed Swale. And the perpetrators shall surely be brought to book. We are starting off in earnest, and I'll be outlining other policies and strategies in the course of the 2024 campaign and also in our 2024 manifesto conversations. Let me emphasize that Ghana is in this severe and acute financial distress with suffocating levels of unemployment due to the reckless mismanagement of the economy by the Akufo-Addo Bawumia government. But there is hope, and that hope can be fast-tracked if we choose vision with experience over try me and experiment, especially at this crucial time in our nation's life. The NDC delegates have shown the way by electing me with a definite 98.9%, or in mathematical terms, you always adjust to the nearest number. And so 98.9% is 99%. And this is indicative of their elevated faith and conviction in my ability to provide honest, visionary, and responsible leadership. They did so not only based on our solid record of achievements, but also on the concrete, sincere assurances I've given to transform our cherished country, Ghana, by building the Ghana we want together. That transformation will demand your cooperation, and that cooperation begins from today. In building the Ghana we want together, we will need you, every Ghanaian, including the disappointed NPP members. Including the disappointed NPP members who are appalled by the arrogance, untruthfulness, mismanagement, corruption, and nepotism of their own government. I invite all such persons to join us in this rebuilding mission. We will also need you, every Ghanaian who wants to have a project or program in agriculture, including horticulture, aquaculture, small businesses, manufacturing, construction services, extractive industry, but has been impeded by the illicit demands of officials of this government. The next NDC government is your home. We will need you, every Ghanaian who believes that merit must be recognized and compensated, and not favoritism taking the center stage. And we'll need you if you genuinely believe we have had enough of the incompetence and mismanagement of this government over the last 6.5 years. Enough is indeed enough. Ghanaians have suffered enough hardship and misrule from this bungling and rapacious Akufo-Addo Bawumia administration. Let us complete the task we have started by campaigning day and night for your humble servant, John Dramani Mahama. And also campaign for all our parliamentary candidates elected across the country. My brothers and sisters, I urge you to campaign vigorously in every corner of the country, on radio, on television, on Facebook, on WhatsApp, on Twitter, on TikTok, on Instagram. And even in your private conversations. NDC members, our sympathizers, our supporters, I make you this promise. Your votes will not only be counted, but your votes will count in making a change in our country, Ghana. With a team led by me, by the grace of God, we are ready and willing with the vision and experience to build the Ghana we want together with you. Ladies and gentlemen, victory will not only be for NDC, it will be for the whole nation Ghana in December 2024. And when this victory comes, there shall be work and happiness for all Ghanaians. I thank you, and God bless us all, and God bless our homeland Ghana. Thank you.
Development our good from
deplorable condition. Ghanaians continue to wonder, how did we get to this point?
Wait, doesn't Ghana belong to all of us?
And not some few individuals.
You just read my mind.
Why must someone come and spoil all that has been built for over 60 years and we still need to build it again?
It's all because of the future of our children and their children. Building the Ghana we all want together.
Ladies and gentlemen, and of course, that's the man whose name sends shivers down the spines of the elephant. He's a visionary leader, he's a builder, he's a unifier, and of course, he will build the Ghana that we want. And let's give him a round of applause once again, ladies and gents. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. On behalf of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, the flag bearer of the National Democratic Congress, the NDC, his beautiful wife, Mrs. Lodina Dramani Mahama, First Lady in Waiting, the campaign coordinator of the John Dramani Mahama for flag bearer race and his team, the national chairman of the National Democratic Congress, Johnson Asedun Ketia, the general secretary, Mr. Fifi Kwete, all national, regional, constituency and branch executives here in present, members of parliament, former appointees and executives, invited guests, Nanama, our chiefs, invited guests, and of course the good people of Tamale, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to, on behalf of His Excellency, say a very big thank you to all of you for making it here this afternoon, to the University of Development Studies Multipurpose Auditorium for the post-election acceptance address of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama after winning an overwhelming 98.9, round up to 99% at the just ended primaries of the NDC. That deserves a round of applause, please. Indeed, the NDC is on the way to the Jubilee House come 7th of January 2025, and today marks the beginning of that journey of building the Ghana that we want together, with His Excellency John Dramani Mahama at the forefront of that journey. I'd also like to take advantage of the opportunity to acknowledge the media for the immense support shown this event by carrying it live across the length and breadth of this country. We could not have done this without you. And to all of you who joined us on live TV, on radio, and of course on social media, we say thank you very much. And to all of you in the auditorium, Tapoya Kapa Pam Mungode Asan Kushun Yadamwase. My name is Eura Adams Karim, and of course this event was proudly put together and produced by Mr. Stan Dogbe and his Wezo TV team. A round of applause as well for them. And a quick announcement, the national executives, I'm informed that the bus that brought you in is at the same location it parked, and so from here you're kindly asked to join the bus because your flight is almost due. Thank you all so much for your time. The MPs, Northern Regional MPs, please, you're kindly invited to the stage. MPs, Northern Regional MPs, Northern Regional MPs, Northern Regional MPs, please, you are invited to the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for coming. A huge round of applause to all of you, and of course we appreciate your time with us. Thank you.